For some, an ethnocracy is not enough. There's these Jewish Dominionist groups, and let's look at them. What they want is a theocracy. They want Israel to be a theocracy. The way to make it happen, their strategy, is to ignite a race war. And when I say I ignite, I mean because their tactics are arson, burning, talking about burning trees, burning fields of Palestinian people, burning cars of Palestinian people, burning mosques, burning churches. And just in case you thought that perhaps this is just some kids getting in a prank on, no, it's very specifically politically motivated, and you see this because they often leave at the scene of the crime graffiti explaining the reason for their actions. And keep in mind, this hostility towards Christian people and Christianity, Christians are only maybe 1 or 2% of the entire population of the country, all told. But even that small amount is considered a threat to these Jewish Dominionists. Not only that, even schools where Jews and Arabs study together, and here I think it's important that I point out that 99% of schools in Israel are segregated. Okay? Israel has never had its Brown versus Board of Education moment. That 1954 Supreme Court decision officially desegregating schools in the US. I don't know how far we are from there, if it's light years or light minutes, but it's a huge problem because maybe 5 or 6 or 7 schools in the entire country are Jews and Palestinian people studying together. But even those few schools are so despised by these Jewish Dominionists that they torch them, that they burn them. Grade 1 classroom, if you can imagine that. It was just last year in Jerusalem, the only school is kind in Jerusalem. And now we have burning babies. We have a couple months ago in the village of Duma outside of Nablus, Jewish supremacists, thugs, terrorists who went to this village and firebombed, broke the windows, threw Molotov cocktails, and burnt an entire family. A mother, a father, and a 1-year-old baby, if you can imagine that. And this is what we've come to. These are people who want a theocracy, and they want a race war, and they want to make it come into being by burning babies. And again, it's not only that it happens, because surely there are crazy racist people in every society, but the problem is that they act with impunity, okay? And so here you have Yuval Diskin, who until recently was the head of the Sheen, the Shabak, Israel's FBI. And talking about this very phenomenon, talking about Israeli or extremist Israeli hate crimes on Palestinian people and other non-Jewish people, he says, now and forever, there's been a total lack of will to tackle this issue at the political level. Okay? The Israeli security services, they're known the world over for their capabilities, but somehow they don't actually carry them out on these Jewish terrorists because there's no will. The politicians don't want it to happen. Those that actually did burn that school, they were caught, they were brought to court, they were sentenced to 2 years. As they were sentenced, they went out of the courtroom singing praises to Yahweh and telling the media it was worth it. Now, again, sad enough that this is the case, but what's more worrisome is that it's not thought of as being so insane, because when you ask average Israeli high school students what they think about this, I'm sad to say that a mere 28% of Jewish high school students were willing to outright condemn these hate attacks on Palestinian people. So, in other words, 72% of Jewish Israeli high schoolers were not willing to outright condemn these attacks. Now, again, I don't mean to suggest that that's 0%. I mean, there are still people who are disgusted that this would go on. And this man, for example, he's the mayor of a town in Israel. And after that most disgusting attack on the Doabsha family, in which they were torched to death, he went onto Facebook. He felt it was time to say something, and he went to his constituents and he wrote, "Around us, we are seeing more and more displays of hatred and violence that make us all cringe. This is the time to remember the most important commandment, love thy neighbor as thyself. Let's stop hating, and as it says in the book of Psalms, turn from evil and do good, seek peace and pursue it." Well, I appreciate this politician, who was actually a right-wing politician in his town, that he went out of his way to say something. Unfortunately, this is the response that he got. The very next day, people torched his car. So this is the result of people having the gumption to actually speak out against these hate attacks. If this is what awaits them, if this is how they're responded to, think of what that does to the next person who is considering whether to speak out against these racist attacks.